It's been a great year to Liferay this year. We had became a multi-product company. And what that means, it means like we released this amazing commerce product run by the team here in Italy. It's beautiful, it's a very good product. We also released Analytics Cloud, which is trying to get all the trajectory of our users into the portal and aggregate everything, so then we help you to understand the data behind the navigation, behind the user's behavior. And finally, DXP 7.1, which is the best digital experience platform ever created. And what we are trying to do as a company, we are trying to connect all these pieces in order to help you as a customer to solve problems. We want to make you productive. We want to abstract a lot of the complexity from you so then you can be productive and achieve the business deliverables and reach your customer expectations. And we know it's not easy to make the customers happy. We always try, but then we spend a lot of time doing things and redoing a lot of technology and complexity engineering and all that. And we are trying to make it even easier for you now. After you reach the customer satisfaction, now you have to deal with a problem, which is sustainable competitive advantage. So what is that? You have to be able that you compete always in a sustainable way, that your products, you can evolve, your team can be healthy, and then you evolve more and more without being bad for your project, being bad for your company. And after you reach that, you have to figure out how I innovate. How do you innovate? It's not easy to innovate when you compete with big pockets like Amazon, Google, Facebook. It's not easy. So how can you keep all that things together? And that's why digital transformation is very important for you. Digital transformation is not only a product. It's not only DXP 7.1. It's a process. It's how you do things, how you observe your company. What are you using papers? What are you using old ways to do things? How can I digitalize everything? How can I make my company more productive? And that's why we are here today to announce DXP Cloud. DXP Cloud is the last missing piece on all that. And let me introduce you the three main ideas and pillars behind DXP Cloud before showing you the product. First is cloud. So cloud is everywhere. Every device we use, your cell phone, your watch, in your house, everything is connected to the cloud. You as a customer might be thinking, how can I evolve my company to be also on the cloud? And why? Maybe I need that, maybe I don't need that. So cloud is considered the most transformative technology trend from this decade. And it's huge. If you are not on the cloud, you are going to be eventually. If you are old enough that you lived in the dot-com boom around 90s, you will see that every company, supermarket, the restaurant, everybody wanted to be online, to have an online presence. Everybody needed a www address. And what happened in the US? It happened that everybody that knew how to build HTML, CSS, they became very rich. They became very successful. And your company will have to be ready for the cloud at some point. Otherwise, you are going to be out of the game. And why is that? Because 50% of adoption this year of cloud products. So if you have a financial system, an administration system, everything that most of the companies used to have on-premise in servers or offline in emails or Google Drive, they are moving to the cloud somehow. So it's radically changing. Forrester predicted this year, this market is going to be $178 billion. And it's going to be huge. So, and you as a company you might be thinking, okay, I think I'm in the cloud. Or as many of us think we are in the cloud. Why you think we are in the cloud? Because we use Google Drive, we use Amazon, or maybe Google Cloud, or many, many mixed things. So if you look at this graph, you see that 40% of the people, they are using multiple cloud providers. It shows like an identity crisis. They are trying to figure that out, what to do, what is the best to do, what should I pick. So it's normal. It's changing now. It's a transition. So people are learning. And the second thing I would like to talk about is data. Data is huge on the cloud, and it's growing a lot. Every second, a lot of data is pushed to the cloud. And in 2020, the cloud is going to store 45 times more data than now. And if you think about only 40% of growth for the number of IT employees. So how come the IT employees will be able to maintain servers on the cloud, maintain all that? If we don't automate, if we don't make it easy as build a website, it's going to be hard to keep up with this data and with the cloud. 2/3 of organizations, they have a strategy for data, but only 22% of them follows that. So they think they have some sort of way to organize data, but they are not following that 100%. They don't have a well-defined policies and processes to handle this. And finally, security. Right now, it's like, in the past 2 years, we have been listening a lot about security breaches and data leaks and things like that. Many big companies, they leak important data from important customers. And as a Liferay, we want to help our clients to not suffer what these other companies are suffering. How can we get the experience we have with 10 years of hosting servers, hosting different portals, and bring that to you? We want to make your life simple and easier. Cloud computing is not anymore about cheap servers. It's not anymore about the storage, which storage is better. Cloud is about how can you make your amazing product, your amazing software, and put that on the cloud, and make this successful, and sell that easy. You don't want to compete infrastructure with big guys or with companies that has experience. You want to focus on your deliverable, in your customer expectations. And the DXP Cloud comes to the thing to finalize and to add the missing piece for your stack on the DXP. And I would like to show you deep every feature of it. So imagine this scenario. This is a website. You are building this digital experience platform. You have content, you have the menus, you have images, right? So, okay, very easy. I can use Liferay, right, to build. Yes. So let's see what are the challenges I have. Initially, you have 3 challenges to solve before you have your product ready. The first challenge is how I define the operational system, Windows Server, Linux, what do I use? How do I define my server? Is in Amazon, okay, but if it's Amazon, it's an i3 machine, M3 machine. Okay, with kind of networking, I need to configure what the throughput between the servers. How do I encrypt this communication? How do I make this reliable? How do I recover from failure? Security, how I encrypt my backups? How I add redundancy to my backups? How I generate my HTTPS certificate, SSL certificate to my website? So there are many questions that sounds easy, but it's actually not easy to do. And then monitor your application. Without monitoring, you cannot evolve. You have to monitor first, then you can improve performance, you can understand how your application is behaving, you can recover from failures fast, and all that. So we would like to get all these things together and solve for you. And then you go to the second challenge. Now I have my servers, I know how to deploy to the cloud. Now I have Liferay. How do I cluster Liferay? How do I configure all my load balancers in front of it to be able to stick session my clients? So there are many complex things going on. And also, how do I monitor Liferay? How do I scale Liferay? How do I backup Liferay in such a way that my document library is synchronized with my database? How do I restore that if I need? And how do I tune my performance? So there are many, many questions. And then I would say you spend at least 1 or 2 or 3 months or even more trying to start your project. Yes, and finally, after you have everything ready, your developers want to develop the portlets, the content. How do they do it? How do they commit? How do they push the code? Many, many companies do that different. We want to show how we do. We would like to offer you our processes of continuous integrations and deliveries connected to the cloud, so then you can take advantage of all that inside the DXP. And what we would like to improve in a general overview is software development, software deployment, and software operation of your DXP. It's going to increase your lead time. If you fail, you can recover faster because you can deploy faster. And this is going to overall improve your productivity as a company. We want you that you will deliver value in the first day. And focus on what matters, deliver with confidence, evolve faster. So those are the 3 main things behind the DXP Cloud. Let's take a look at the product. When you log in, there is a project. Acme is the project I'm showing here, for example. And you can see that there is the project name, there are the environments, production, infrastructure. You can see if it's healthy or not. You can inspect your services. Basic overview of everything. You can see your collaborators. And after you see how the project works, let's detail everything that we put inside this project for you out of the box. Storage. So storage is one of our main features. You have Liferay running as a customer when you buy the XP Cloud. We give you that running on the cloud. So then you can start to deploy and develop. And tomorrow there is a very good talk from Zeno that he's going to detail every detail, how to develop, how to deploy. So I recommend you guys to watch the talk tomorrow to go deeper. For now, a quick overview on that. Once you have your project running, let's say I want to back up my Liferay, or I want to check how my backups are. There is a backup feature that you can click and backup at any moment in time. You can go back in time to see, okay, I want to go back to September 20th, so I can go back and see my data. And the nice thing about the backup is because you can recover those backups from different environments. I'm going to show a little bit of that. And your data is very safe. Well, when we backup, we replicate your data in 2 different regions. So you don't need to worry about losing your data. Your data is safe, you can recover anytime. If you lose a region, you have the other region, everything out of the box. And better than everything, it's encrypted. You don't need also to worry about security. We already encrypt for you, and nobody can access your data besides you. And when you want to restore, you can just click in the button, select the environment, and then click Restore. And after a few minutes, this new environment are going to have Liferay running with the same data from production, for example. So it's a very nice feature, very powerful, helps your developers to be able to copy data from development to UAT, from UAT to production in a matter of minutes. So no need for technical understanding on this. Networking. So when we configure regularly in AWS a lot of environments, often you're the IT, they forget about networking security. They usually mix everything in the same network. So you have production, UAT, dev. You can accidentally connect in a database from production because they are in the same network. How do you prevent that? So in the XP Cloud, we already do that for you. We isolate every environment from your project in different networks, and it's isolated. You cannot accidentally connect to a database, delete some data, and this is really helpful. And also, if you have a leak or if you have a problem with one environment, the other environment is protected. So this is out of the box. We have a load balancer in front of everything that talks to a dedicated load balancer to your project that handles all the communication, the outscaling, and everything. So, and imagine the situation now you are developing, but you need to access your company, VPNs, servers. So let's say you have an authentication server, LDAP, HR software. You can connect to a VPN using the UI of the XP Cloud, put in your IP address, your login. Tomorrow, also more examples about that. And then you can access, you can connect your cloud project with your local project in your company. And there is an encrypted connection between those that you can access your databases, everything. So it's pretty powerful because you don't need to think about any of this. It's already out of the box. Third, availability. We are taking very seriously availability. We have learned a lot in the past years about cloud, and we want to monitor your infrastructure 24/7, and this is already comes in the package of the XP Cloud. We are offering a 99.95% of uptime. And how do you prevent that? How do you know things that are going on? You have alerts. So alerts help you to be able of your availability. So if everything goes wrong, let's say Liferay reaches memory, 90% of memory, you get an alert in the console of the XP Cloud. And also, the same alert goes to every member of the team inside the project. So that's pretty handy because if you are outside in the car, you can see, oh, my Liferay is very heavy. I have to add one more thing to help it. So then the outscaling feature will help. I will show you soon. Metrics is also something else. When you click on the alert, you can see the metrics. You can see the memory, the CPU that is using. You can go back in time. You can see everything. And this helps you have a high-level overview of what's going on with the XP instance. And auto-scaling is also very connected to all these monitoring things. So if the memory of Liferay is running out, or if it's very busy, what happens is that you can enable the auto-scaling feature. You just click the button, and you can go up to 10 instances out of the box. So you don't need to buy licenses, you don't need to do anything. We have a flex license model that we charge you per hour during the autoscaling. And then you can go there and disable the autoscaling when you don't need anymore. So all these things also come in the offer, so then you can take advantage of everything. Okay, and then you can see alerts that your instance got scaled from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, depending on the load. Security. We are taking very serious security. We spent the past 4 months working with auditors and certifying everyone from the Liferay Cloud to be able to create policies that helps your data, helps our process. So we created information security, change managers, disaster recovery, vendor management, a lot of things we put together. It's more than 250 things that we had to comply and execute inside the company, so then we can make sure your data and your information is safe. And we are glad to announce that we are SOC 2 compliance. So as a client, you also don't need to worry about that. You can sell DXP to your customers and inherit everything from us. And next year, our target is ISO 27001, which is more popular in Europe than SOC 2, FedRAMP, and the others. Collaboration is also something we want to make very easy. We know that in your company you have developers that they can deploy to production, but they can deploy to development, but they cannot deploy to production. They can deploy to UAT, but they cannot deploy to production. That's very normal. So we created environment concept. So it's very easy. By a click, hold on. By a click, you can visualize your environments or define the members that are in every environment. So in this case, here on the top, you have dev. You have these 3 people on dev. They can deploy, they can do things on this environment. If I change to production, I'm going to have only the people that I want to be able to deploy to production. So you can segment the different teams based on the environments. And for every team member, you can also define if they are able to deploy, to delete, or only to read the information. And activity tracking is also a feature I like a lot, which basically allows you to see everything that happened in the project. Who created what, who deleted what. So this is very helpful because you can generate reports after to see what's going on with every environment, with your production environment. So all these things together, they are offered in the package, and automation is our final thing. Automation is something that we want to make very easy. Because as a developer, the most powerful thing you have is to automate. So we want to make sure that our clients take advantage of this on DXP. And how we are doing that? We are doing that by a simple thing. You commit your code. When you buy DXP Cloud, you receive a repository for your environment, a workspace EE. So then you can deploy, commit your portlets, commit your applications inside your teams, everything. And when you push this code, when you commit this code, it will build in a dedicated CI. When the build passes successfully, it's going to appear in the builds list, and you can have different builds per environment. For example, you can have different builds for development, for testing, for production, and you can select those builds. You can get any build and deploy to production. So also this CI tests everything, check the code quality, and a lot of other things behind the scenes. And the nice thing about the DXP Cloud is that all those environments, they are connected in terms of data. You can get data from one environment to the other. So remember the backups feature. So right now, what I'm going to do is to show here in this example, I'm in the production environment. I'm going to copy the data to a different environment. So I'm going to do this restoration, and I'm going to put this one in dev, production to dev. So this is very powerful because this makes your data to copy from one environment to the other and allow you to make sure it's all good before go to production. And finally, deploy it. So in order to deploy, you also go to builds list. You select the builds you have. And then you can choose which one goes to each environment. tomorrow there is a very dedicated and detailed talk about all these features, so I recommend you to watch. So this is a new environment, an empty environment, UAT. So how can I copy a build from any other environment to this empty environment? So I'm going to get development environment and deploy this to UAT. After you click this button, after a few minutes, it's going to be available Liferay running with database, with everything that you had in development. So think about that. How long it takes on your company to create a new environment, to ask the IT team to create a UIT environment, to ask the license, to deploy the licenses, and then you want to copy this data from production to development. How long it takes? So it takes a long time. We are trying to make it very easy for you. And we learned with our global services team for the past 10 years, we were thinking about how can we get everything they know and give to our clients? Because they keep this knowledge inside. They don't know how to talk to the clients to explain that without a consultant. So we are making everything together and giving to you. And there are a few extension points. If you are an advanced developer, you can say, OK, I have deploy folder, I have the hotfix folder, I can deploy my own hotfixes. I can also extend the portal.xt properties with your information. So you have full control of Liferay, but you don't need to think about how this is working behind the scenes. You just push me this code, these simple folders with the files, and we take care about deploying it. Yes, and the feature list, you can go to our website. You can see there are many things we offer on that we didn't present today in the talk. And the subscription is very easy. When you buy DXP, you can also buy DXP Cloud. And what you get with that, you get DXP Platinum subscription, you get 24/7 monitoring, you get support with enterprise SLAs, and you get a Dynatrace subscription that helps you monitor your application, that you can click a button and visualize in Dynatrace what's going on with your Java, JVM, and everything. So we launched this product in October 9th, only in Americas, but we are working in Europe next year, early next year, in the first quarters. So if you are interested as a customer or as a client to take a look, to try it out, contact our sales team. They can set up for you an account. You guys can play around, share what you think, and if you like it, you can move forward and use that. Go to our website, liferay.com/products DXP Cloud. So it's also released on October 9th. And that's it, guys. Request a live demo, and thank you very much. Questions?